today we will start module 5, which is augmented analytics. So let me go to this presentation. So within augmented analytics, there is smart predict and smart assist. So we'll go by one by one. So this is a regular disclaimer with respect to the content. So what is the agenda for this topic one is what is predictive analysis? Why do a business need predictive analysis? What are the predictive analytics options within SAC? And how do we create models for predictive analytics? So what is predictive analytics? So basically, in simple terms, use of historical data to arrive at a possible future event is predictive analysis. So you have some set of data and you want to kind of find out what will be my future sales or future revenue, or what will be the the future value for an existing entity as such an organization, or a kind of a retail store, etc. So basically, it uses statistics and modeling techniques to determine relationships and patterns in historical data to arrive at future indicators. You can use it as a decision-making tool, because many a times when humans are doing predictions, they might be agenda-driven, as in only thing they want to, for example, they want to see sales forecast, they will try to only make sure sales is increased, but they won't be able to understand the patterns or different relationships between different entities within the data. So for that reason, we always suggest to use a machine to kind of arrive at predictions. That way it makes sense to have a better decision making without any agenda driven methodology. Organizations can avoid guessing by using predictive analysis, which is backed by data. So we don't need to guess. That's an advantage. You can always mathematically make sure that, okay, this is how my sales would be if everything goes well according to whatever the scenario has been predicted. So in such scenarios, you don't need to have a guessing work. We can depend on predictive analysis with respect to available data. So SAC offers BI, planning and predictive capabilities within a single tool. We have seen this in first session. In this blog, like in this session, we will see what are the predictive analysis. So every day, every business in today's world needs to have a proactive approach towards customer demands rather than reactive one. So rather than arriving at a situation where on the go you have to find or start doing something. For example, if you see before 10 years, there was not much of usage for electrical vehicles, because people were comfortable with whatever fossil fuel based vehicles. Now the trend has been shifting slowly. People are interested into electrical mobile kind of a movement, like cars, bikes, even the people are trying to explore, trying to kind of go with aviation with respect to using electrical batteries as such. So if you see that it changed all of a sudden, that trend. So when a car manufacturer want to kind of decide that I want to go electric, rather than waiting for the change to happen or being a reactive change, he can proactively think and predict, okay, going forward people are changing their lifestyle, or people are interested to try new things. So how about we bring in new technology? For example, you see Tesla, everything, it's a new way of using technology. They are using electrical technology, they are using different auto driving feature, which are very much useful for people who are elderly, or who are like disabled, they cannot drive and they don't have other options. So such technologies, it actually gives a lot of edge over a company's profits and all. So that way you need to be proactive rather than reactive. So that way you have to use some predictions, you have to use some analytics to arrive at a situation where you will be able to take strategic decisions. So for example, in our scenario, we can consider a car manufacturer. They want to fulfill all the customer orders on time, but they don't also want to keep huge inventories, as they will not make profit till a car is sold. So for example, a company like Tesla, they need to make sure how many orders should be taken. They can't also keep the huge inventory, because inventory means again you need to have a bigger warehouse. Bigger warehouse means you need to pay a lot of rent, and it's a kind of a cycle wherein at the end the cost will be borne by the company itself. So they won't be able to make a profit until a car is sold. So until the car moves out of the warehouse, there is still cost involved with respect to the car company. So if the vehicle resides in the warehouse, it cannot be counted as part of revenue. So how does the manufacturer know the number of cars to be manufactured? So they cannot be able to guess it, right? Because every time it might be a different, and when people are kind of if you consider when it is a festival time in India, people tend to buy new things more. They tend to buy, new cars, new kind of appliances, electrical appliances, new widgets, new gadgets, sorry, and new articles. Everything they will try to change their. I mean, like exchange the old items with respect to new one during the festival time. So these type of patterns, which will help us to drive business insights, are very much useful. And also, human cannot guess how much quantity people will be able to buy. So that's why we need to use predictions. So that's why we need to use the predictive analytics. Any tool it may be, you have to use predictions with respect to historical data. So by default, the manufacturer might not be knowing how many cars to be manufactured. So we need to predict it. And an organization's current actions are triggered by what they expect or they want in future, a future that they predict. So following are some of the use cases where predictive planning also is useful. So to know the future demand of a product in a manufacturing firm, to manage staffing needs for a service firm, to provide an optimal customer experience. For example, your company like service provider company like TCS, Wipro, Deloitte, you also need to kind of plan for staffing needs. You can't recruit on the sudden. For example, you want to give consulting services to companies like, different companies like some product based companies. You can't on the fly start bringing. You need to have some prediction. You need to get some information from the client, like what is the project, when is going to start. Then based on the project, you need to create a skill set, and then you can optimally hire someone, then provide the staffing needs to the client as such. Then to also plan inventory levels for a retail firm. For example, as I said, during the festival time, people tend to buy more. Or if you say summer time, if you see summers, people tend to buy more ACs, refrigerators, and fans, all these things which kind of help us to keep the body cool and also the environment cool. So you need to also, when we are switching from rainy season to summer or winter season to summer, people need to also plan their inventory, because when the demand comes, users are very much kind of irritated when they don't get it within the time. How do you feel when a order is placed in Amazon and you don't get it after 15 days? You literally start, burning on the customer care. Why is my product not coming 15 days? It is all those things. So that's why organizations also need to plan inventory levels. And inventory level is a limited space because there is a space constraint. You can't bring 100 cars and put it in a space available for 20 cars. So these things is where we need to have planning and predictions. So these are some of the use cases where we can use in a retail firm for planning inventory levels, and also to predict customer churn for a cellular service provider. So if you see cellular service provider, for example, if you take Airtel or Jio, customers are easily able to churn. Churn as in when they switch the service provider from one provider to another provider, then it's called churning. So for example, if you remember last 2 3 years or maybe 4 years back, we didn't had Geo, and all of a sudden when Geo came, people started getting the free, calls and free some data as such, and people are switching from Airtel or existing providers to Geo. So in order to predict the customer churn also, we will be able to understand, because we will have the customer relationship data, how many times the customer contracted the customer care, and how many times he was dissatisfied with the customer service provider, how many times he has provided complaints to the service provider. So these type of things which will help us that, okay, after some point of time, people will get really worried. They can't anymore handle the current service provider. They will try to switch for a better one. Why will customers stay? Because it's nothing for them. It's just that they want better service, whoever it is. So those type of scenarios also, it will help to predict customer churn for a cellular service provider. And other one we already seen for expense and cost planning. So in case if you want to do some planning cost allocation for different departments, in our scenario earlier in the module 4, we have seen the company where we have different products and we want to plan the cost with respect to different products. So in such scenarios also, these predictions also might help. So by default in time series charts, if you have seen in time series chart in SAC, we have this predictive planning also, and also time series forecasting. So if you see in the screenshot, you have a typical kind of calendar time series where we have data with respect to historical periods, and we can try to predict what is the kind of sales or revenue, or in this sense the value as such will be in the coming months. So in such scenarios, these time series forecasts will be helpful. So any indicator you show in time series can be forecasted. You can either use automatic forecast options or select. So if you see, we generally have this automatic forecast option, which will kind of the system will generate forecast on its own, or we do have options for selecting this linear regression or triple exponential smoothing forecast algorithms. I don't know how much familiar are you with algorithms. So there are few algorithms which are useful for time series kind of forecast predictions. So linear regression and triple smoothing, all these are different algorithms. So in case if you are familiar with these algorithms and you want to manually select one of these to generate the next future analytics or future forecasts, then we can use this one of the algorithms. So these are readily available within SAC. So yeah, typically this is how the trend will be. You will see that okay, this is how it is, and it went down in July. So it will help us to kind of evaluate and give us some predictions. Next, we can do predictive planning within tables itself. So additional to the time series charts, there is also predictions that is available, which is readily available in the table widget. So if you're using a table for visualizing your data, you can still use predictive planning features within SAC. You can select time granularity. So it can be daily, monthly, or yearly or quarterly. Different time granularity you can select for your predict forecast. And also you can select the algorithm. As I said, by default, you have the options like automatic forecast. You can also select linear regression or triple smoothing algorithms. Then you need to also have this historical data to be used as a base version for doing the predictions. So in tables, how you can audit is like you create a column with respect to yesterday we have seen how to create a plan version. Similarly, you can create a predictive version, and you can use one of the algorithms to try to predict what my order will be or what my values will be with respect to different time periods. Then additional to that, with respect to tables and time series which are readily available in widgets, we do have something called Smart Predict. So Smart Predict is the most advanced predictive features in SAC. There are three types of Smart Predict scenarios: classification, regression, time series. So basically this is kind of three scenarios which are now available. Probably in future there might be more. So I will discuss what is classification, time series, regression. So these are the three flavors that are available to address different prediction scenarios with respect to different business use cases. So after selecting the scenario, you train a predictive model by feeding historical data. So before you start any smart predict scenario, you need to have historical data. As such, you can have a data set. So you need to train the predictive model. So basically you train the model, uh, giving the system the data which is kind of historical. It will try to understand what is the relationships, what is the patterns, different patterns between different data points. So once you train it, then SAC uses an inbuilt machine learning algorithm that studies the input data and kind of provides best predictive result set of various possibilities. So we have different algorithms which are inbuilt within SAC. So now, I mean, like it is a black box as such. SAP do not reveal what algorithms they are using, but to an end user it is just provided as service. So as soon as you have some data set where you want to do predictions, you upload it, you kind of run the smart predict scenario, then the system will use a inbuilt machine learning algorithm and try to predict based on the patterns. Then once the predictions are done, then it can be kind of saved in SAC models, which can be consumed later in SAC stories or analytical applications. Depends on your customer requirement. So yeah, basically this is the three scenarios. So what is classification? Classification is useful when you have kind of you need to do decision making with respect to a yes or no scenario. For example, you are a company and you have customers and you want to launch a new product and you want to predict my customer will buy this product or not. So basically it's a binary kind of an analytics. You have yes or no, only two options. So in such scenarios you can use this classification algorithm, so you can predict if a customer is likely to churn or not. I mean, you can take the scenario of the service provider. You want to understand how many customers will switch our cellular network, maybe from Airtel to Geo, how many people will move. So either they can move or they can stay in the same provider. This is the two options available. So in such scenarios, you can use classification scenario, predictive scenario. Then regression is useful. You want to predict numerical values for a variable based fluctuations in correlated variables, using correlated variables. For example, if you want to predict the price of an imported product based on different charges, tax, duties, everything. So numerical values, if you want to predict, which is not binary, but it can be in a different range of numbers. So in such scenarios, you can use regression. For example, in our scenario, we are using sales data. So in case if you want to predict sales forecast, or you want to do some analytics with respect to sales data, so you can use regression algorithm. Then the time series. So as the name suggests, you want to forecast numerical values over a period of time. Okay, so you have data till 2021 and you want to predict 2022 how my business will be. Then yeah, in order to do the future forecast, you need to use time series. So these are the three available scenarios now, as of now. Then what are the sources that are supported for doing predictive analytics in SAC? So if you want to do predictions in a table, so CSV type data source is supported, Excel is not supported, but SAC model, when you create model, it's supported. So these two are basically created using data sets. So if you create a data sets readily, then these two scenarios. Other than that, the other one is a model. So for time series, yeah, CSV, Excel, and model, all three are supported. Then smart predict, yeah, everything is supported. Yeah, the prerequisite to run a predictive forecast in SAC to kind of do the predictive planning scenario in SAC is to enable planning options while creating the model. So in the planning model, you would see that there is an option to enable planning while you are doing exercise. You would have seen. So we need to have it enabled in case of doing predictive planning scenario. And also that data source can be CSV or flat file, or you can acquire the data from BW or HANA also. So basically, as of now, the smart predict is not available for live data. If you see, the live data is not available, and also for planning also we don't have live data option. If you see in our scenarios, we have already explored that planning is available only for import scenarios. So yeah, you would have seen this option. So enable option, enable planning. While creating the model, you can enable. So we can agree that future prediction is directly dependent on different parameters like quality, granularity, and wide range of historical data. After you complete the data preparation part, you can also decide on next predictive scenario which you want to use for each use case. So this is the topic one, basically an introduction to kind of how the predictive scenarios or predictive options are available within SAC. I'll move to the next module. So here we will see different options that are available within the Smart Assist, Smart Insights. Yeah, basically there are a lot of smart features within SAC. So we will see them one by one. So in this session, we will see what are the options that are available with respect to Smart Assist and also Smart Predict. So disclaimer. So what is the agenda? We will see, we'll just revise this predictive forecast. Then there is something called Smart Discovery, Smart Insights, and also Smart Predict. So within SAC, these are the different machine learning features that are available as such augmented analytics. So you would have seen time series forecast, search to insight, smart grouping, smart insight, smart predict, smart discovery. So this is with respect to acquired data. With respect to live data, these are the options available. So with respect to time series, you can use a data set. So basically, if you want to do a time series forecasting, you can use a data set to build a model that can be applied to the target data set. You can train the model and you can apply the model. So basically training is where you kind of give the machine or the system that understanding of what is the pattern. Then finally when you have something to apply, you will apply the model data with respect to the what is the target, then use the output to predict next year sales, for example, or predict the revenue. So you can also make adjustments. You can also write it to the planning model. So in planning model we have the write back functionality, so you can also write it back and you can reuse in the stories and analytical applications. So that is the time series forecasting with respect to the acquired data. Then search to insight. So search to insight is a feature where you can use natural language. So for example, you have certain queries like you want to understand what is my sales at this moment of time, or you want to understand what is my revenue. So you can use the search to insight and you can start typing these queries like in human understandable form. You can type what is sales in your keyboard and the system will try to fetch the data with respect to what is available within the system. For example, you have a model where there is sales data available, so the system can understand and it will try to fetch the sales data. So here the requested data is brought by using natural language simply by typing a question about your data. So there are certain limitations for this. We will see it. And smart grouping, yeah, smart grouping is kind of a functionality which is available in a scatter plot chart. So if you have seen the charts option, there is something called scatter plot chart. There you can do smart grouping and the system will automatically create clusters using regressions. So if you want to group certain elements like who are the different customers who are buying this product together, who are buying Y product together. So you want to have that smart grouping, then you can switch it on in this smart scatter plot chart and you can enable this smart grouping. Then smart insights, yeah, smart insights is something like um, you have a chart and you want to have some textual kind of analytics available. For example, you have a chart which shows top 10 regions for particular sales and you want to generate a textual information with respect to what is shown in that. So that way user doesn't need to type, okay, this is the sales, or for example California is the highest sales generating region, Los Angeles is the next generating city. So such textual analytics user doesn't need to type or need to generate. System will be able to use natural language processing and also machine learning algorithms and it will generate it for you and you can use it to be displayed in your different charts. So you can also enable this smart insights. You can right click on a chart or data point and system will add the context. For example, in a table with a total salary value, SAC can also determine what are the key contributors to this total. So if you have an example where you are showing total sales or total salary and you want to see why this has become so much, I mean why is this value so much or having this amount of value as such, what contributes to this value. So that is called key contributors or key influences and you can clearly see what is the key contributors using smart insights. Smart insights will generate kind of an information like what are the key contributors that are kind of resulting in this total value. So such textual analytics we can see within SAC using the smart insights. The next is smart predict. So as the name suggests, you want to run some time series or predictions. You can use the smart predict functionality and do the predictions. Then smart discovery. So you have a scenario like when there are people who are not familiar with creation of charts. So you can use the smart discovery. You can create story on the go automatically. The system will use kind of its own machine learning and regression algorithms and try to predict what is useful. So once you kind of select the data source, system will generate a story for you. We will also see that in the demo also. So that is with respect to acquired data. These are the options available. Then with respect to live data, yeah, we have the time series forecasting anyway. Then we have search to insights. So search to insights also there is some limitations. It is available only for SAP HANA and uh, SAP HANA only, I think, search to insights. Smart grouping, it's available for all the live models. Smart insights, as of now, it is available only for S4 HANA and HANA database. It is not available for BW or any other data source. Same thing, Smart Predict is available for only HANA as of now. HANA as a database. If you have, then you have some live data, then we can do Smart Predict. Other than that, if you have any other databases as such, now we don't have any options. However, if you have imported the data set into the SAC, then it supports the acquired models. Yeah, this predictive forecast, we have seen this predictive forecast. So basically, you use historical data then to predict different data sets. You know, the more historical data, the more accurate the prediction will be. So, for example, if you have only 100 records and if you try to kind of forecast, then the forecasting score will be less because the number of records in the data is very less. So that way, if you have more data, the more accurate the prediction will be. Then predictive forecast takes different values in account. For example, you can also do the trends analysis, or you can do the cycle analysis, or you can do the outlier analysis like fluctuations in data. For example, you are doing certain sales campaigning and there is no kind of no customers being interacted with the sales campaign, or no new customers are generated after campaigning also, then you can consider this an outlier because it didn't perform as expected. So what are the outliers, what are the things that are not kind of positively contributing to your campaigning? So such scenarios you can also do the predictions. So that is called fluctuations within your data. So using this data driven approach, we can also optimize your planning process based on the facts, not based on the feelings or guessing the data. So not using agenda driven mechanism. So what are the key features with respect to predictive forecasts? Yeah, easy to use because um, this is very intuitive, as such drag and drop. Then no setup is required. Basically, you are not setting up any servers, you are not setting up any machines. So to create this predictive forecasting, it's completely managed within SAC itself by the SAP company. You can use Smart Predict for more advanced requirements. So if you have basic requirement like creating time series charts and predictions, then you can use it in the charts itself. But in case if your scenario requires kind of more advanced like classification regressions, such scenarios, you can use Smart Predict. So you can select from existing algorithms also, like automatic, linear, and triple smoothing also. Additionally, you can provide inputs also, like you want to tweak your algorithm to show different values, you can also tweak it. So yeah, when can be predictive forecast useful? So yeah, when project expected values, you want to know how it will be in the future with respect to planning and different use cases. You can also validate the quality by looking at the confidence level. So basically, when you create a prediction, you will have this confidence interval, so which will tell that okay, this is the maximum limit or minimum limit beyond which my prediction will not go. So if you see here in this chart, so this value is the prediction, and the prediction kind of confidence, maximum confidence is this and minimum confidence is this. So your predictions might fall only in between these intervals, it won't go beyond this. So that is the confidence intervals in the higher level and the lower level. You can also kind of use additional factors such as weather information to kind of simulate expected values. So as I said, in case if your data has weather specific information, for an example could be like, as I said, in the summer people tend to buy more equipments that are used for cooling the room. So in such scenarios, weather information makes sense. You can see the temperature and people tend to buy more when it is more hotter. So that can be used as a factor to kind of arrive at different simulations. So such data should also be there within your data set. Then you can create forecasts with respect to time series and also charts and lines. So that is of predictive forecast. Yeah, smart discovery. Smart data discovery is a next generation data discovery capability, which provides the business users or kind of citizen data scientists with insights from advanced analytics. So basically, you have a scenario where people don't have the familiarity of using SAC tool to create charts and graphs, and also they are not familiar to create models. So in such scenarios, they can use this smart discovery. And also you can also have a scenario like data scientists who are kind of more into these algorithms and stuff, but they are not into this tool as such. So those people can use this smart discovery. So business intelligence and analytics leaders should plan for adoptions as analytics capabilities mature. So once you have your kind of information required, you know what needs to be kind of shown in a different insights, then people can use the smart data discovery and they can generate story on the go. So basically, once you have a data set, you can select what option you want to see in your story. For example, sales or predictions or forecast or profit quantity, whatever target you select, the system will kind of try to understand what are the capabilities with respect to sales, and it will try to create a story for you which you can use for your insights. So what are the key features with respect to smart data discovery? So it is auto generated. So user doesn't need to create anything. It is fully populated by default automatically. Multi-tab stories. So basically you will have different pages created. So few pages will be overview page, key influencers page, unexpected values page, simulations tab. So overview page is like the overview where you will see all the details. For example, if you select sales, you will see all the data with respect to sales, all the charts, KPIs with respect to sales. So that you will see the overview page. Then in the key influencers page, you will understand what are the key factors that are contributing to my sales. For example, a region can be contributing. For example, weather can be contributing. For example, kind of a marketing campaign can be contributing. So such scenarios you will come to know what is the key influencers. Then what are the unexpected values. For example, in your data set, once you create a smart discovery, you will try to understand like what are the values that are deviating, the outliers which are not regular but kind of either it is high or low. Those unexpected values will be shown in the unexpected values tab. Then we have simulation. So in simulation you will be able to kind of modify or tweak the values. So you have these key influencers and you kind of tweak these values and you want to find out how my sales will be impacted when I change kind of the weather to certain limit, or when I adjust the weather to lower to higher limit, how much sales my difference will be, how much kind of average the sales can be. So such scenarios you can see it in the simulation tab. The next key feature will be you can identify actionable insights powered by machine learning. So basically you are not going to create anything, so it's all machine driven. So that is one of the key feature. And you can also expose your key influences driving business. So in the key influencers page you will understand what are the key factors that are contributing. So based on that you can kind of design critical KPIs. Also you can analyze outliers. So in unexpected values page you will come to know what are the outliers that are kind of deviating from normal, so that you can identify and you can take impactful decisions. For example, there is certain region which is not at all kind of responding to your campaign, so there you can reduce the campaign or you can increase the discounts to kind of attract the customers and drive the sales campaign there. So such scenarios you can find out the outliers and take impactful decisions there. Then next is you can predict the future outcomes with the interactive simulations. So as I said, you have the simulation tab, so where you can adjust different parameters and you can see how much impact would the decision make on my sales. So such scenarios you can use the simulation tab. So typically this is how it would look. So the smart data discovery, you will see kind of a chart. You see on the top you have like quality, then key influences, unexpected values, then simulation tabs on the top. Then the system will generate different charts based on the values, and also you will see certain textual information on the right which says how much is the difference or what is the kind of different KPIs with respect to the data. So using smart discovery you can uncover key influences of KPIs by using classification and regression techniques. You can also interact with the insights and explore hidden structures and relationships, because since it is machine driven, It will be able to kind of find out the hidden patterns which are not kind of readily visible to the human as such, to do the deep analysis. Then also you can find out the answers to business questions through kind of intuitive charts and also natural language. So if you see here, all these are textual language which is human understandable form, so you can read it and understand quickly what is the kind of value there. So some of the examples where you can use smart discovery is, you want to uncover the business drivers with respect to your revenue. So you are a company where you have data with respect to revenue and you want to find out what are the hidden patterns or what are the key influences with respect to my company's revenue. Then such scenario you can use um, smart discovery. And also customer churning. So as I said, you want to find out how much of customers I would be losing or how much of customers I will be gaining in the next quarter or next coming period. You can use such scenarios, smart discovery. Also employee productivity. So you want to find out how much productive people are with respect to different factors. So such scenarios you can also use smart discovery. So I'll pause here. Any questions if you have? Yeah. So this is a simulation page. So this is a screenshot how typically the simulations will look. In the right hand side you will see options where you can adjust. So for example, this is with respect to kind of a company where they are selling the licenses. So if you increase the number of licenses, you will understand how much sales will how it will generate or decrease or increase. So this is the simulation tab. So you can predict the outcome for a particular KPIs or record value based on historical data. You can also experiment to see how the particular dimension will affect the outcome. So basically for a marketing company, they want to kind of understand how much campaigning should be done, web-based campaigning or ads or TV advertisements, all those things they can kind of simulate, and they can understand how much impact would it bring on the revenue. So that is a simulation page with respect to smart discovery. So yeah, with also dynamic text tokens in chart footers, you can also supplement your visualizations with smart textual explanations on the contributors with respect to your data. SAC runs on SAP HANA. So as discussed earlier, SAP Analytics Cloud is running on SAP HANA in the business technology platform of SAP. So whatever the core predictive features that are available in SAC, or sorry, what are the core features that are available in SAP HANA as such will be available in SAC, like the automated predictive library, APL, and predictive analytics library, PAL. So if you have worked on SAP HANA, then these are some of the libraries that are useful to kind of generate the predictions. So since SAC runs on HANA, so it will inbuilt, it is available readily. So that is with respect to smart discovery. Then what is smart insights? So smart insights is something like you want to generate textual analytics based on the charts, and you don't want to do it on your own manually, but you want the system to derive at these textual analytics. So such scenario you can use smart insights. So typically this is how it looks when you kind of select a chart and enable the smart insights. You will have some footer where the data, I mean like the textual analytics will be available, and if you click on more details you will see this smart insights panel where you will see the analytics in a readable format. So it says that priority customer is the top contributor with 101% above average. Then you can also see different kind of an visualized way how the I mean prior customer support has contributed more to the deal value. So such scenarios you will be able to kind of readily use the smart insights. So you can click on a data point to get a smart textual or visual insights. For example, you are kind of doing revenue analysis for your company, and you can use the smart insights which will give you an explanation. This will be more useful for such users where they don't have kind of pre-built knowledge or pre uh, kind of available knowledge with respect to business intelligence or data analytics. They can understand only basic English. So in such scenarios, they can kind of use these smart insights and kind of understand in a textual way. Smart Insights allows you to quickly develop a clear understanding of intricate aspects of your business data. So you can also consider, if you're interested in analyzing the total, salary spent in North America, you can also see the company, where it is situated, and you can also see how much spending is happening with respect to US, why it is contributing, why US is the top contributor in North America. So such kind of textual analytics you can readily get with Smart Insights. So how you enable Smart Insights is like this. So you have a chart, and when you select any data point or the chart, the context menu as such, the three dots here, you will get an option like, Smart Insights. So when you click on this, you will be able to see the textual information shown. Yeah, next is Smart Predict. So I have already given a glimpse. So Smart Predicts helps you answer business questions that are needed for you to do predictions or predictive forecasts to plan business, future business evolution. It automatically learns from historical data and finds the patterns. It will also additionally understand what are the key performance indicators, the KPIs, and also visualizations that will help you to evaluate the accuracy of your predictions. So you have your predictions and you want to find out how much accurate it is, then you can use the Smart Predict and also kind of evaluate and understand how much efficient my model is to train or to run the application with respect to predictions. You can also leverage these predictions and forecast with respect to the confidence level. So when you generate something using Smart Predict, you will be able to see the confidence interval, like higher maximum, lower maximum, or also the prediction score as such. If my prediction score is below 80, it is kind of not doing well. Above 80, it is doing well. So such kind of readily available insights are also available within Smart Predict, where the user can understand, okay, this is my prediction and this is my prediction score. I can rely on these predictions and kind of do the data forecast as such using these predictions. So these are the three scenarios: time series, regression, and classification, which I already explained. So basically, time series is kind of if you have data with respect to specific segment and you want to kind of do the future planning, how much my sales are forecasted to be, you should use time series predictive scenario. Then regression is where you need to kind of predict my sales or revenue, any numerical value as such you want to do the Smart Predict, then you should always use regression, because if you use classification, then it will throw an error, it will not be able to proceed. Then classification is useful when you want to understand the churn analysis, like when the customer is going to shift or migrate to a different service provider or not. So in such scenarios, you should always use binary scenarios. You should always use classification. I think with this, yeah. So basically, this is how the screenshot will be. So the predictive scenario you have, when you click on create new, you will have this option: classification, regression, time series. You can select one of the scenario. So what is the likelihood of future event occurring? So this event can be observed at an individual level, customer, asset, or product, or kind of occurring at a horizon level in the year or kind of time granularity. And you want to understand, you know, whether the customer is going to buy my product or not, which client is going to be a candidate for churning analysis. So in such scenarios, always use classification. Then in regression, this is a scenario. What could be the prediction of business value? Taking account different contexts. Also, you can understand what is the revenue going to be when you create a new product line, or what is the expense occurring to the company when you launch a new product. So such scenarios always use regression scenario. Then the last one is the time series. So what are the future values with respect to business value over the time? How much my value changes, or how much, example is how much ice cream will I sell daily over next 12 months. So if I analyze my historical information, I'll be able to predict it. So such scenario always use time series. Yeah, so so basically one of the, let's go one by one. So there are multiple features which we discuss: Smart Assist, which is search to insights, Smart Insights, Smart Discovery, and also Smart Predict. So first thing we want to discuss, I would like to discuss is this search to insight. So you would have seen this option whenever you go in your home page. You have search bar where it says ask a question, or additionally you can also see on the top there is this kind of a light bulb icon which says kind of search to insight. So let us click that. So basically this is kind of an natural language processing where you can ask questions in English and the system will respond you with graphical way. It will try to give you charts and pictorial representation. So let me start with a simple question. Show me the sales. So I'll ask system to show the sales. I'm typing show sales and it will show me the overall sales. So if you see here, this is already a numeric point chart. So it's not kind of a text but a chart. So whenever you create kind of query something, system will respond in chart, and in the top you will see which model it is selected. So by default, it's the Superstore data set which we created. So it is selected. Additional to that, if you click on this four other results, it will show different models which has the sales keyword. So I have sales keyword in this model, then there is other test blank model, and there is Google Drive model, all these things. So in case if you feel that you want to see data with respect to different model, you can select it. So by default, system will try to kind of, there is some ranking happening in the background, scoring as such, where if a model is used more in this different stories, then it has a high score and it will be given preference. So a model which is most used will be shown in the first. So in case if you want to change, you can also change to different model later, or you also have this option to create select particular model. So for example, you don't want to search within the whole SAC as such, rather you want to search only with respect to specific model, then you can click on this model icon and then select whichever model you want to know. So here you can see the context. So it is searching with respect to all available models within this SAC tenant. That is the options. Then we have kind of copy options. If you want to reuse the search result, so this one, the show sales, or you want to copy this chart, kind of use it in a story or something, so you can also do that. You can copy this chart. Yeah, so copy paste. Okay, here same thing. So this is the first option, like search to insights. Then you also have option to kind of export the data as CSV, or delete this search. Now we can kind of complicate the query slowly. We'll go one by one. We will try to kind of ask show sales by region or something. Let me see. So it will try to show my sales with respect to regions. I have West, East, Central, and South region. So I'm asking that query and it is showing this one. Then let me ask for show sales by region for year 2017. So if you see here for the year 2017, it is showing central sales, sorry, central, south, east, west, all these regions data in a stacked bar chart. And also you see here we have a filter year 2017, and there is a hierarchy also, because in our model we have a hierarchy on the area, region, city, state. We had a hierarchy. Here you will see the option which model is selected, and the value as such, the scaling factor is thousands. So yeah, you can also, here you see certain options by default as it provides system. It will tell whether you want to see the same information and it's a heat map. Okay, you can do that. You can also have keywords here, show sales by region as heat map. So basically, if you don't know these keywords, as and when you start typing, it will show you the keywords are shown in like the bold font. So if you see here, this sales is keyword, region is keyword, heat map is a keyword, so it will show you in a bold font. So I'm typing as heat map. I can also do this as bath. But okay, so that is kind of different options. You can also see show sales by segment. For West region. I don't know, I'm trying it. Let's see. Yeah, so for West region, it is showing sales by segment. So we have segment like consumer, corporate, home office, and I want to filter on region West. So I can write like this. If you want to use this predefined selections also, you can do that. So sales by segment for West region and country. So this is the region. Region is West and country is United States anyway. I think we have United States country data only. Then it is showing by segment. Then what else? I think let's try this. Compare sales for year 2016 and 2017. I think there's some issue with the hierarchy. Yeah, so you can see it creates a bar, I mean line chart, which is the time series line chart. So by default it shows us these options. So you can also alternatively select the different model. So I will select this juice model now, Western juice model. When you select it, system will give you these options like what are the measures that are available for the search to insight, and also what are the dimensions. So I can also select this. I want to see gross margin and kind of based on products. Yeah, so something like this. It shows us 2014, 2015, 2016. Let me remove this. Compare gross margin by product and sales manager. So different products, we have different sales manager. So if you see here, the search context as such has changed. It is showing the Western juice model as the chosen one. So additionally, you can also kind of get the options here, which is like quantity sold. If you want to see the quantity sold, this is the 204 million quantities are sold in this Western juice model. Or if you want to choose another model, you can also kind of navigate and select it. Yeah, and also details. So that is a search to insight. In case if you have any models with variables, you can kind of provide the variable inputs here, change the variable values here, and delete the existing kind of results. You can delete it here. This option is available in also the stories analytical application. You can embed a search to insight where the user can search free text. Only concern here we should always remember is you should make sure that you maintain kind of readable names, because if you see sales and region are kind of readable and very easily understandable kind of keywords. If you put something like this as your technical name or description, show sal, as a human we know that sal is for sales, but system might not be able to understand that this sal is what is sal. It will not try to kind of see, it still shows gross margin and all. So it's better always to maintain very good descriptions. So it is mandatory in case if you want to use search to insight, you need to have proper descriptions and names for the dimensions and measures. Else, system might show some abrupt results, which is not kind of relevant to the selections. So also there is something like synonyms. So in case if you want to kind of define like In certain countries, for example, soccer is football in different countries. So kind of for that, in Europe it is called football. In America, I think it is called soccer. So such synonyms, if you want to maintain, you need to maintain here in this tenant. So the system will kind of try to come and see here whether there is some synonyms. Then it will try to generate the search to insights. So you can define here also, like for sales, you can put sales overall. But synonyms you can use later. If you search for this keyword, the system will come and check, okay, this is for sales, and it will try to show you sales. So you can define these synonyms at the tenant level as such. For a complete SAC, you should define. Yeah, then you can import and export using the CSV file, these synonyms. You can save it. So yeah, that is search to insight. Basically, uh, if you have the correct keywords, T21 data might not be there. Let's see 2020. For 2020 data is there. 2020 I didn't publish my changes, so it will work. I haven't tried this plan version, but we can try for actual versus plan. But I don't think I have plan version. If you have your plan version, then probably you can do the actual versus actual comma plan version. Something shows up. So basically, when you create some versions, you can use it. It works for planning model also. We can try kind of multiple measures, show sales and profit, product. Release is something like you will have smaller charts. So I'm trying that. Let's see. I think it doesn't understand this release keyword. So I'm trying different combinations. I don't know if this tree map is, I think as a tree map. Yeah, I think it needs to have the relevant dimensions and measures to create a tree map. I think there should be two measures or one measure. Let's try one measure and one dimension. Probably only bar chart, heat map, uh, line chart should be there. Yeah, line charts there. So these three charts are available, and additional to that, numeric point chart. Numeric, too many selections. Yeah, it will also throw you error stating that why it's not possible. Yeah, so this is the show sales by product. So bar chart, line chart, and then kind of a numeric point chart, heat map, all these are supported. So probably tree map is not supported yet. It might be coming in future. So that is with respect to search to insight. So I'll just pause for 1 second. So I hope this is simple. If not, let me know. I can also kind of show another demo. So that is the search to insight. Next, we will see what is the smart insights. So to create smart insights, we will create a chart. Small story I will create. So here I will, you can select any model. Let me choose that our model only, Superstore data model. So let me add some sales data with respect to hierarchy. Yeah, this is the one. Let me add different charts. I'll add a pie chart. Let me select profit with respect to different segments. Then I will add a heat map. So here subcategory, category, and then I'll use sales. Okay, so let me keep it simple. Let me do it this way. Okay, this is a simple chart. So basically so smart insights, as I said, you will have an option to kind of, when the developer mode is enabled, you will have option to kind of add smart insights. This is the option. So if you enable this option, you see what is going to happen. The system will try to analyze the data, and it kind of provides you a text based analytics. See, it's you see here by default, like people who are having good knowledge of business intelligence and analytics, they will be able to kind of easily understand the chart, but in case for amateur users or new users who are not familiar with analytics, so you can read this. West has the highest sales, showing a 26% deviation from average. The total so far for 2018, this is the total sales, out of which West has the highest sales. And for 2017, this is the one, and there is some 31% increase with respect to 2016 for 2017. And also additionally, the user can click on this view more option. So when they click on this view more, they will be able to see this panel, Smart Insights panel on the right, where it will show you more information. Like here it has shown only textual based analytics. Here it has also additional to text. It is showing the yearly values. So here I can switch daily, the context, how much it is, then monthly. Here this is the variance. So this is the chart, different months. January it was kind of 12,273. Then February it was 9,000. So compared to January and February, I think some dip it is there. So that is the thing. Then quarterly also we can see. So I think this is comparing with the compared to 2017. So compared to 2017 in the tooltip you can read compared to sales 2017 Q1, how much it is 2016 Q4. So within this there is 23,000 drop. Similarly, this one compared to Q1 and Q2, this is 51,000, so 42,000. So there is a 9,000 drop in sales. Yeah, so such kind of analytics you can see. You can also kind of when it is in edit mode, I guess you can also copy this chart. So whatever chart here it is generated, you want to have it in your dashboard. So you can put copy to page 1. So it is copied here. So you can see the time granularity also here. Additional to that, if you scroll down, you will be able to see what are the top contributors. So as such, sales in the West is the highest. But why is it highest? Because Los Angeles is a city which is the top contributor. So that city is there in West. So that is one of the reason contributing factor why sales is highest in the West. So if you expand it, you will also see other cities which are top 10. So Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco. So these are the top 10 cities. Then you can also see how much top 10 has contributed compared to other values. Like these 10 cities have contributed 500,000, and other cities like which is 160 cities in US contributed only 200,000. So you can also use this analytics. Then also like there is some order ID which is the top contributors. So this order ID is contributing most to the highest value in the sales in West region. And with respect to product, this is the highest contributor. Similarly, the product name is this one, which is contributing most to the sales. So these type of top contributors, you will be able to easily get it in Smart Insights. So this is the row ID. I mean, row ID is not useful because it's something like system generated. However, these other options are kind of useful. So this way you can kind of enable Smart Insights in all the charts. So users will be able to kind of read and understand easily what is happening. So it is available in almost all types of charts. For suppose you want to only understand, uh, I think you will get a question that, okay, West is highest, that anyway we know. I want to understand what is the contributing factors for South. So that way you can right click on this South value and click on Smart Insights. So the system will be able to generate the textual analytics and top contributors for the value selected. This is useful because people might think that only it is showing the highest value, not the other values. So it is depending on the context you selected. So whatever value you select, based on that it will show you. So in the South, these are the top contributors. So this is very useful feature, very kind of useful for the end users who are kind of beginners or who wants advanced, augmented analytics or machine learning features, so they can use this smart insights. So as of now, it supports for all acquired models. For live models, it is supported only for SAP HANA, because it needs to do the metadata generation. For example, you have this profit segment and these metadata, right? Corporate, customer, all these are metadata. So all this information it has to understand so that it can provide the textual analytics. For that, a metadata data operation should be run in the background. So that is currently available for SAP HANA based data sources, for live data sources. Other data sources, it's still not available. Probably in future it might come. Yeah, so that is smart insights. Yeah, any questions? So if not, then we will move to the next one. So next one is smart discovery. So we will see what is smart discovery. So while creating stories, we have this option, right, to create responsive canvas grid, then smart discovery. So you can also select this option in case if you want to run a smart discovery. So smart discovery is useful when you have, when you want to do quick ad hoc analysis, you don't have time to create a model and then, create a story. So you'd rather want the system to create these dashboards or widgets, charts, everything on its own based on the data selected. Then you can select the smart discovery. As of now, it is available only for acquired models, which is the import models. So I click on smart discovery. I click on, so when I click on create smart discovery, it asks me whether you want to select a data set or a model. So let me select one of the models, like this sample model, which is in um, by default available, which is provided by SAP, the pre-built content. So here I can understand, it will ask you what target you want to analyze and what are the entities, what are the filters. So basically this is the flow of smart discovery. So you need to set your topic. You must always select a target, an entity. The target is the data that you want to explore. The entity defines the dimensions you would like to explore in relation to your target and the level to which you want to aggregate your data to analyze. You can also refine your topic by adding filters. So in case if you want to kind of reduce the search context to a specific region or kind of specific filter, you can also apply this filter here. Then once you kind of select your topic, then you can see a brief summary. You can choose preview and you will be able to see a brief summary of how it looks. Then we can kind of choose the run option. So it will start running the smart discovery and you will be able to see a generated story. So now let me select, I want to see gross margin. I'm interested to see with respect to sales manager. I want to see analyze the data with respect to sales manager, how they are performing. So I selected gross margin as the target. So basically you need to always measure should be the target and entities should always be dimensions. So in case if you want to filter, you can also filter the context and advanced filterings. Like in case of planning models, you will have version, planning, forecast or predictive, such versions will be there. You can select which version you want to do. And here you have options to kind of restrict the smart discovery running context. You want to reduce the context, you can also change the context here. Then once you selected all the values as such, you can click on preview. So it kind of shows, this is a sample preview, this is how it will be. So total number of sales managers are 11 and total gross margin for sales managers is $235 million. So yeah, I am happy with this. At least it's kind of clear understanding. So I'll click on run. So it will take some time. So what will happen is in the background system kind of runs the pattern detection and some machine learning algorithms to kind of understand the data and build the story for you. Yeah, so if you select gross margin, this is the story it is generated. So by default, I think the data in that scenario is less, whatever we selected. So yeah, it generated only the overview page, but let's go through it. So this is a overview page where we can see the total sales, so gross margin for sales managers. Total number of sales managers are 11 and minimum value is this one, maximum value is this one. Then yeah, distribution. So it kind of distributes in different bins. So with respect to sales managers coming in this range, there is only one sales manager. Then in the range of 10 million, who's performing, two sales managers are performing in the range of 10 million. Then yeah, from range 16 million to 19 million, there are three sales managers, like that. It distributed into different bins. Then you see this predictive forecast. So these are the, over the time, how much sales or how much gross margin has changed. So January 17, 2017 is the latest period in the data. We can also use this automatic forecast. So if you remember in the smart predict session, I've showed that there is automatic forecast available. If you don't want, you can remove it. And if you later want to kind of add automatic forecast, you can click on add. So by default, you have an option to do the automatic forecast, or if you want to manually select different algorithm, like linear algorithm, regression, linear regression, like triple smoothing, kind of a data science based algorithms, then you can select that. So once you select it, you will have these confidence intervals, like upper confidence, if you see here, 10 million, lower confidence is 4 million. So and the forecast will be shown in the dotted lines. So for July till July, it is showing us, so different months. So that is the predictive forecast. So basically, if you can want to switch the context also, you can switch it, like you want to see yearly or monthly, that also is possible. Okay, then yeah, this is a bar chart where kind of you see different options with respect to selections. Let me do one thing. Let me pause here. Any doubts? If not, then let me create a little complicated one. Let us use the model which we have created. So here I will select, I don't know, let me select sales. Let me select profit. Yeah, context with respect to, let me select subcategory, which has more dimensions. And I'm not putting any filter. I'm selecting run. Okay, I think even here the data is less. Let me do one thing. Let me select sales itself, because that way we have more data. Select cities, which are more. Yeah, so I think smart discovery here, we have a lot of data with respect to city for sales, sorry, sales for cities. So cities also, I think we have 200 cities. So that way there is a lot of options. So if you see here, as I discussed in the theory session, so we have different pages that are generated. Overview page, key influencers, unexpected values, then simulation. So total sales is this one. Sorry, total number of sales is this one. Total cities is 600, not 200 in US. Then yeah, the least value with respect to sales per city is kind of 1 million or 1.39. Then this is 256,000, 256,000. Then distribution of sales. So most of the sales um, are happening, in this range. For a 587 cities, it's coming between the 16,000 range. And there are few cities which are kind of generating 25,000 sales. 7 cities, yeah. As you go on top, there is one city which is kind of generating more than 250,000. That is one city. Then yeah, over the period of time, how the forecast was. So you can select different context quarterly. So this is the forecast. Then yeah, we have a hierarchy, sales by city. We can also go to that level. We go to fifth level. Yeah. So these are the top 10 cities. So by default, if you see, system already generates, and also it kind of enables the smart insights. So we can view more details also here based on the context selection. So these are the contributors, why New York is the top contributor. So that is the overview page. Then key influences, as I said, if you want to understand why what is impacting my sales with respect to city, what are the different factors. So you see here, you can understand that quantity is contributing, weekly contributing, profit also weak contribution. If you have strong contribution, you will see in a navy blue color. So yeah, row ID is moderately contributing, weak, yeah, these things. Yeah, you also have some textual description like what is smart discovery, how it has analyzed the sales for city. From this model, it identified 10 columns as the key influences. These key influences are based on data from, when I uploaded, it was May 5th, I think, today. So it's based on the May 5th data. Then we have excluded category before running the analysis. Then yeah, how to interpret these charts. The charts are based on live data, I mean the data from the model. In the first chart, you can select a key influencer. You can also see how it impacts the sales for city. In the second chart, you can add additional key influencers. So in the left side, we have this key influencers. Then you can, as and when you select how it impacts. So for example, I'm selecting profit. It will show you, average sales by city by profit bin. So different bins have been done. Smart grouping has been done here. So you can select any number of, influencers from the left side panel. Then here in the right side, below, you have different option where you can select another key influencer, and you will be able to see the values in the kind of heat map based. So these options are also available. So I'm also selecting product name, how my product name is kind of grouped in a smart way. So also quantity. So if you see here, this is kind of 93 cities are there which are less than kind of generating 2000 sales. So that is the information here. So you see this key influences are there. You can scroll it and you can see all the information. Then that is the key influences. Then unexpected values is something where, as I said, outlier analysis. So if you see here, by default from the data which has been analyzed, the sales should be like this. I mean, should be like this, and actually it is like this. So the expected sales should be 2,18,000, but however, by default from the data, it is kind of more. This is for New York City. Similarly, these are the kind of rows which are causing outliers. So which is kind of deviating, whether high or low. These are the rows which are deviating more. So if you see, the bottommost is Longmont City, and here we have very less sales expected, but still also it's less than 1,000. So these are the unexpected values, and these unexpected values will be captured in this page by default. The next page is simulation. So as I said, simulation is like where you can change different parameters with respect to the key influences, and you can come to a conclusion how my sales would be impacted. So this is the overall sales with respect to cities, and these are the key influencers which we have seen in the second page: row ID, quantity, profit, product name, all these things. So although this data is bit not real time as such, kind of very much suited to the smart discovery scenario, we can still use it. So let us do one thing. If you see here, quantity and profit are strongly positive, which means whenever you make some changes, it will directly impact the sales. Whereas the number of product IDs, if you increase, it won't. It is actually neutral. It won't neither increase nor decrease the sales. Then when you kind of decrease or increase the product name, it is strongly negative. So it is opposite of the sales. So let us do one thing. Let us kind of try to simulate what happens if I kind of increase the quantity. So I'm increasing the quantity to 2000. Click on simulate. So I can see this. There will be 3% increase. So you can immediately see that the value here shown. And what if I decrease the order IDs to 100? You can also type it. You can type, or you can use this slider, simulate. So there is 14% increase. So if you see here, this is strongly negative, as in it is inversely proportional to the sales. So what if I decrease the product products? So yeah, I can simulate. So that's 4% increase. So this way you can run simulations. So this is useful when you want to kind of do some strategical decisions to be taken, like how much campaigning should I increase, or how much new hires I should bring to in order to make the project successful. How much sales managers should I deploy in the market to increase the sales. So such kind of an simulation scenarios you can run in simulation panel. So that is the smart discovery. Yeah, additional to the regular, these pages, you can add any number of pages. You can do the designing, the regular story building, you can do it. All the options which are available in the story is available. Also data exploration can be done. So you can save this and you can publish it, and the users will be able to use it. Let me try it. I'm also trying. Let's see. These are different layouts. I'm just seeing. Yeah, copy options are there. You can copy, paste, duplicate. So in case if you want to kind of quickly do analytics, it is also suggested to run smart discovery for beginners also. Like in case if you have a file also, like whatever I had, I can go to the home page. Like let me go to the home page. So if I click on here, I am feeling lucky place. So it will directly bring me to the smart discovery kind of an story. It will by default create a smart discovery for me and create a story for us. You don't need to create a model or do the data wrangling as such. Directly the story will be available. Okay, so what else is there? I think that is all. Then we have smart predict, so which is the prediction feature. So in order to create the smart predict, you need to go here. So click on more. Then we have this predictive scenarios here. So as I said, there are three scenarios that are supported currently: classification, regression, time series forecast. So classification, in case you want to determine yes or no, such scenarios, you need to use classification. You can read it yourself on the tooltip. You want to predict membership of categories such as yes or no, then you can use this classification. Regression to predict numerical values. Then time series, you want to forecast future time data and all. So let me use one of the scenario. So I will create regression for demo. So when you click on this regression, it will ask us to select where we should save this predictive scenario. So I will select this regression. So this is the predictive scenarios, screen, where you can train the model first. In order to create a predictive model, first you need to train the model. So for training the model, you need to select a data source. So you can also give some description to data. Let me put a regression scenario. Then if you see here, there is a limitation. Only data sets are currently supported. Sorry. Only data sets are currently supported, not models. So in order to create a predictive scenario, you should always create a data set. Okay. So I have this data set. So you can define target. So for regression, I want to do prediction on sales. Then I can select if I want to exclude certain, values as influencers. So basically influencers are something which will kind of support or influence the decision for sales. if you want to kind of exclude certain parameters, for example, row ID doesn't make sense because row ID is something system generated. It is not an influencer, so you can manually select it. I mean, you can define whichever context you want. You can select that and exclude them as influencers. Then also here you can select the columns which you want to use for the analysis. So you can select different, I mean, like by default all columns are selected. If you don't want, you can kind of change or remove certain columns that are available in your data set. So that are those are the settings. Then you can also limit number of influencers, so you can kind of have, you know, maximum number of influencers are 10, something like that. Then you can click on train. So once you click on train, you can see this here, the status, the model is being trained. So based on the data that is available in the data set, the model is trying to understand the predictive model. So it will take some time. So yeah, you see here, it is trained now. This is the date creation. Then this is root mean square. So this is the kind of a parameter which will tell how much error percentage uh, is there or not there. Then prediction confidence. So 99% prediction confidence, which means that it is a very good model. Anything below 75 is like very bad model. You should not use it for, you know, predictions. Then influencers, 8 influencers are there. Then there is total records of 9,994 records. Then yeah, you can open the prediction model here, duplicate, delete. Then yeah, you can select which columns to be shown, which columns to be not shown, all those. So yeah, that is the training. So once you train the model, you will be able to see this kind of parameters with respect to the prediction scenario. So this is the overview where we can see this information. Prediction confidence is 99% green, which means it is very good model, which we can use for applying the predictions. Then these are the target statistics, you know, training, validation, what is the minimum maximum standard deviation. So with respect to sales, this is the maximum minimum deviations. Then these are the influencers. If you see, profit is positively contributing to sales. So 59% profit is contributing to the sales. Subcategory is contributing 10%. Category 9%, discount 9%, quantity 6%. You can also kind of do some adjustments here. You want to show it in a table or bar chart, all those things. Then yeah, this is the kind of mean error which is kind of plotted between predicted and actual models. So this is the typical scenario where a perfect model exists, the line, green line. So our model is this one, validation model. Actual, it is almost close to the green model, which means it is very good with respect to predictions. We can use it for prediction scenarios. If your model is below this line or kind of very far away from the perfect model, then you should probably kind of change, you know, these options, kind of exclude certain influences and, you know, change certain options to make it near perfect. At least you might not get a perfect, but you might need to try to kind of reach a near perfect model. So that is the option here. Then next we see in detail how much the influencer contribution is. So shipping date is this much, region is this much, yeah, order date. Then also if you see this category, so category technology and furniture are kind of positively contributing to your sales, whereas office supplies is kind of negatively contributing, which means you need to look at office supplies and try to kind of decide whether you should go with this or whether you should remove this office supplies and only add a new product category and do that and proceed with the sales. Such scenarios you can run. You can also select different options like shipping or subcategory. So with respect to subcategory, these are the, you know, positively contributing subcategories like chairs, books, machines. All these are selling well, whereas electronics, appliances are kind of negatively contributing to your sales. So yeah, you need to rethink whether you should still go ahead and have these products or bring a new product line Yeah, such things you can simulate with respect to influences. Then yeah, these are the statistics, like what is the validation model, training model. So if you have a validation model also, you will be able to kind of create a understanding how much it is contributing. So these are the, you know, frequency also. You can see there are 18% of records which are having technology as the product category. Then you have furniture, which is 21% of the records. Then highest records is the office supplies. So that is the highest frequency which in the data. You can also select different categories, and you can see different kind of metrics with respect to the frequency and the mean error also. So this is something like technical things, which is kind of, at least someone who has data science knowledge, basic science knowledge, will be able to understand. So not all people can do smart predict. So yeah, this is the options. So the other options are creating predictive models, then train the predictive model. We have already trained it. Once you train it, you can apply the predictive model. So once you apply, you will be able to get the, you know, predicted values, and these predicted values we can use in stories and, you know, applications going forward. So I will click on this apply predictive model. Then yeah, this is the data source. So you can select which column should be replicated in the output for your predictions. Yeah, let me select everything. I don't have any. So there are 15 columns which I want everything in my output. Then you can select what are the additional new columns that are to be generated. So we need the predicted value by default, because that is what we are doing predictions for. Then you can, if you want, you can select the apply date, when the application has happened, when the training date has happened, training has been done. Then different bins that are assigned, outliers. Then if you want to understand the explanation with respect to predictions, that also is there. Then once you select all these, then you can output the data set. So I can do, I can give a name, final regression. I can select this, apply. So if you see here, this application is happening where the system will kind of generate the predictions for you and save it in a data store, data set as such. Should take few minutes. Yeah, it's done. Now if we go to the relevant folder which you selected, like CC training, then this is the data set which we generated. If you click on it, yeah, you will be able to see the generated data. So these are the columns which I selected to be generated. So here, if you see, this is the predictions that are generated, then training date, then their explanation, prediction, what is the explanation, why it is like this. Then there is outlier also, I think, which I selected, or bins, which bins this fall into. So such data is generated. Now let us make use of this data. So what we will do is we will create a chart using the existing model which we created in exercise 2, that is a superstore data model. So I created this model and I am showing the sales value here. Okay, maybe I can select something like segment. So this is the original sales value. Now I will add predictions. So in order to add predictions, you can bring the data set which was created now. So to do that, I will link the model. Click on add link model, then select the, you know, you can select the data set or the model. I'm selecting that final regression output which was, you know, derived from the smart prediction. Then once you kind of link, it will ask to link the, you know, dimensions. So I will link order ID, product ID, product name. You can link, whatever you want to see, you can link that. As of now, I want to see with respect to segment. So I will link segment. So once you link it, you can also define whether I want to link by ID or description. So just set the link. So the link is as such set. Then additionally now by default the link type will be only primary data. So with respect to primary data only, primary model. This is the primary model. This is the secondary model. So with respect to primary model only the data is shown. But for me I want to see all the data. So I will select all data in the link type. Then yeah, you can also select what is the options for unlinked dimensions and what is the active link. Then you can also edit the link and add new links. So here I selected all data. So now what is the advantage is I can use my new predictions. So I got the predictions right from the smart predict. I can use that predictions. I will show the predicted value here. So if you see here, let me display by ID. So you see here, this is my prediction. This is the actual, which is the 706 sales from the original model. Then I did some predictive analytics. So it is kind of 710 for the corporate. For the home office, this is 432. This is the prediction. This is the actual. So yeah, these type of analytics you can do using smart predict. You can run some algorithms, do some predictions, then use it in the stories later. So here I'll stop.